What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, the Fútbol es Vida channel, where today I'm going to be talking about Barcelona's season so far. Basically, a halfway through the season review of Barcelona, of everything that has happened since the season has started up until now. So basically, we're gonna talk about all the highs, the lows, everything that what the F moments of Barcelona, everything that has happened up until now. We are going to review really quickly in this video. I'm gonna break it down into different categories. If you would like to say, who's been our best player, who's been our worst player, who has been the most surprising, most like what the F, where did this guy come from? Our best game so far this season, our worst game so far this season, our current position that we're in, my expectations for the rest of the season, and my thoughts on Flick and the team in general. That's what I'm gonna break it down for this video. So let's just get right into it. So let's start off with our best player this season so far. I think we can all agree. I think we all know. It's pretty obvious. Lamine. Lamine Yamal obviously has been our best player. Obviously, the likes of Rafinha, Pedri, we have other players who have stepped up, especially Rafinha. But I think Lamine is 100% our best player because so far this season he has shown that he is definitely the main difference maker when it comes to us being in a position where we're not playing the best, where we need help, where we need something to happen. We give it to Lamine Yamal and we expect something to happen to him. The amount of times we just trying to play through Lamine Yamal is insane because we all know that he's the biggest difference maker in this team. And we've seen so far this season that without him, we struggle to win. We struggle creative wise. We struggle to score goals. And when he's playing, he always comes back as the best player, the most impactful player. Even though in these last couple recent games, even though he's been playing, we still been struggling in the league. It's still a matter of Lamine puts in the work, does it when he needs to do. I think any losses or any ties that we got in with Lamine, it just came down mostly to the team. But besides that, Lamine is always the most impactful player. Anytime we need him to, he is definitely one of the main reasons Rafinha is doing what he's doing so far this season. Like a lot of the goals, a lot of assists from Lamine to Rafinha. But I think is the style of play, what we expect from a player of his caliber is he's just like it's worthy to be like expected. It's to be seen as the best player for Barcelona because without him, we struggle massively. We have no presence on the right. We have no presence in terms of creativity. When we need something to happen, we don't have that when Lamine Yamal is not playing because we've seen Rafinha play on the right. At least in my opinion, it's not the best for him. Where he's been playing as a central left wingish central role behind Lewa. That's his best position so far this season, and we see that Lamine is the perfect right winger for us, and even in the world, he's probably behind Mohamed Salah. He's probably the second best winger in the world currently, on the right winger in the world. You could probably say winger, but who knows? Who cares? But yeah, Lamine Yamal for sure has been our best player. Very impactful in a lot of games, and has just shown levels for a 17-year-old this season. Has shown motherfucking levels, and I expect a lot more from him going on to this season. He has come back. News has come back that he's come back from injury, so hopefully with his return, the team plays even better than we've been playing in the last recent games. But it has to be Lamine Yamal, 100% Lamine. Without Barcelona, without Lamine, I really don't know where we'd be. I don't think Rafinha would be playing the way he is now. I don't think Lewo would be getting the goals he's been getting. The team, Barcelona, wouldn't be where Barcelona is right now without Lamine Yamal. That's how impactful he's been. So I'm 100% saying Lamine Yamal, our best player this season. All right, now moving on to our most disappointing player, our quote-unquote worst player this season so far. Oh man. There's some options for sure. Some options in the team that you could say who have been very disappointing or have not been the best in the slightest. I think one of the main guys who has been disappointing and who we expected something before the season started was Ansu Fati. I'm gonna say Frankie later on right now, but I'm gonna start with Ansu Fati. I think Ansu Fati has been a major disappointment just because before the season started, we saw how how Barca was playing under Flick during preseason in in the first couple games of the season. We saw that there was um, a style of play that we saw that Flick got the best out of a lot of these players, like Rafinha. He is the most outstanding one that we can think of when we think of Flick improving players, because we saw Rafinha last couple of seasons since he joined compared to this season, completely different. So we all expected Ansu Fati. Finally, he's back. He looks like he's fit. We've seen all the news, all the tweets, all the things saying that Ansu Fati's been playing good. He's feeling well. He like the main thing that was catfishing me like crazy over the summer was Ansu Fati and Flick are getting along. Flick can get Ansu Fati back. Blah blah blah. So many, so many news, so many things talking about trying to hype this thing up about Ansu Fati, and then he gets injured in training. He comes in. He does nothing when he comes in. He gets injured in training again. Oh, he's back. Oh, he gets injured in training again. I'm like, the fuck, the fuck. And the games that he has played, he has not put up a good performance. He's any games that he's played, he's not put up a good performance at all. So I don't know. It's because it's just so sad to say that he's washed. It's so sad to say. Is he just completely and utterly washed, or is it just a reoccurrence of injuries that is never going to make him, improve or get better? Because we all saw the reports that he apparently at some point needed surgery before the last World Cup, and he didn't want to get the surgery because he wanted to go play in the World Cup. And since then, it's been a downfall of injuries, constant injuries at Brighton, and then when he came back to Barca, continued getting injured. So I don't know if he needs a surgery. I don't know what Ansu Fati's situation is physically wise, but what I do know is that mentally he is not there. He's not there mentally, because constant injuries also always are going to break you down as a player, but it's more evident on the pitch that you are not playing well, that you're not doing good, that was it's just not the same Ansu Fati that we've seen in the past couple years. And it's a sad situation, honestly, for him, because we at one point saw the potential, but the constant injuries just messed up his career, to be honest. So I hate to say that he's washed, but it's looking like he might be washed. And the expectation was that Flick could change him, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen at all. If I think I saw the latest reports that he'll be coming back, but how long until he gets injured again? Who knows? That's the reoccurrence with Ansu Fati. He'll come back, but then he'll eventually get injured again. So he's for sure a disappointing player. Alongside Frankie De Jong. Frankie De Jong is the most that's the most disappointing player any Barca player, any Barca fan can think of. The moment they think of who's been disappointing, it has to be Frankie De Jong. Just because of the whole situation of Frankie De Jong since joining Barcelona from Ajax after a spectacular season with Ajax in 2019, where he put up amazing performances with Ajax in the Champions League and the league. We all saw the potential of Frankie De Jong, how good he was as a player, as a midfielder who can drive the ball perfectly. Transition-wise was very good. He was so confident on the ball. We saw the potential in this guy since he joined Barcelona. But ever since then, as much as it's been a change of Barcelona throughout the years in terms of managers, players, like constant change like that is always going to affect the player. It's always going to it's going to affect them mentally. It's going to affect them. I'm constantly trying to change my style of play to keep up with the new team, keep up with the new manager and everything. All these things fall into it, but at the same time, it comes down to how you are as a player, or in how you adapt and how you continue to be a regular player in improving and getting better and helping your team get better. And obviously that always comes down to the elites of the elites. Can the best do it? Like Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. These are players that can adapt, and as much as the system changes, they'll still put up amazing performances. But with Frankie De Jong, as much as it's been a change of management throughout the years, it's also been very inconsistent with him, and we saw that during Xavi. Like he improved under Xavi. He was really good under Xavi, but again, he also had a lot of similar situations with terms of injuries, having to leave a couple months, then coming back. And this one has been the most outstretched one of how long he's been injured. I'm pretty sure. I think this has been his longest injury. since he's come. I think it was like during the Euros and everything. So this for sure has been his longest injury, if I'm not mistaken. And ever since he's come back from injury, everything like the question was, can Frankie really fit into this team? Can he fit into Flick's system? Because we all know we've seen Frankie play different positions, center backs, the 6, 8. We've seen him play multiple positions. Even under Flick, when when in the first couple games under Flick, he was playing more as a like higher role. Like he was playing as a 10. He was playing higher up compared to like where he would used to play like with double play with Busquets or playing way like deeper. And yeah, those couple games, like the first two couple games when he came on, when he gets some like dying minutes, nowhere near the level. Honestly, he didn't look good. He didn't look good. So, and then Flick started bringing him playing a deeper role to sub out Pedri, Casado. But even then, I think the only really good performance I can remember of him coming in and changing the game was against Real Madrid in a Clásico. I think that was the main one I can think of. But besides that, I can't think of many good performances from Frankie since coming in. I think Celta Vigo one like really killed him. The Celta Vigo one killed him. No. Real Betis. I'm sorry. The Real Betis ones killed him when he came on and just and gave up a penalty. But Frankie the Young just doesn't look like he just doesn't look sharp enough. Anywhere near sharp enough. I don't know if it's a mental thing because of the contract situation. Obviously, the amount of criticism that he gets. When it comes to his salary, there's still questions about his salary and anything. I'm like, I've seen so many numbers go out in the air that I don't want to really, just stick to, oh, he's making this much. I don't know, because he comes out and says they're all lies, but then we see like, oh no, he's making this, he's making that, and you're just thinking, what? Like it's too much. It's too much. So, and then we're looking at this contract situation. Is he going to resign? Did we just spend? How much did we spend for him? Like 80 mil, something like that? We spent a good amount on him. Are we going to get nothing back from him? That's going to be even more disappointing. He's expressed multiple times in the past that he wants to stay at Barcelona, but now it's a matter of should he stay at Barcelona? Does he fit in the system? Does he have the capabilities of being a starter now for Barcelona when we've seen the likes of the emergences of Casado, the emergences of Marc Bernal, these players who fit into the system of Flick immediately and played amazingly when they needed to. But when Frankie's been on, he's not been doing it. He's just not been doing it, and it's been very disappointing, to be honest, because we expect the player of his caliber to do more. But he's for sure been another of the disappointing. So I would say Ansu Fati, Frankie de Jong have been the most disappointing players this season so far for us. I'm trying to think of any other players, but I can't really think of any other player because most of our players have improved under Flick for sure. I can't really talk about the likes of Ferran Torres, Pau Victor, or anything, just because like they're very inconsistent. Especially Ferran Torres, he's very inconsistent. So I can't really talk about him. Pau Victor is still a young player. This is his real first season, and he's just getting dying minutes. Like it's not like we expect a whole lot from him, anyways, compared to what we expect from Frankie de Jong. But no, I can't really talk about the other players like Christensen, Araujo, or anything because they haven't played yet. Gavi, I think you can say, has been a little slow, but at the same time, he came back from a massive injury compared to Frankie de Jong. He's been all a whole year, so we can give him a little break and hopefully expect more to come from him later on in the season or next year. Who knows? Because these injuries take time, but Frankie de Jong and Ansu Fati for sure have been the two ones that I've been like, what's happening here? The fuck is happening here? All right, now moving on to the third category of who has been our most what the F player? What the fuck? Our most surprising, our revelation of the season so far this season. And I think we can all know, like, I think we all know who we're going to say, like, who we're talking about here. We all know. Marc Casado. What a beauty. What a beauty Marc Casado has been. I'm also going to add Rafinha into this too as the most surprising player too, in terms of what he's done so far this season. So Marc Casado and Rafinha for me are the two. I'm going to give a little special shout out to like Inigo Martinez, Cubarsí, Jules Koundé, obviously, but it has to be Marc Casado and Rafinha as the two most surprising and what the F players so far for this season for Barcelona. Because let's start off with Marc Casado. Marc Casado obviously came from the youth academy for Barcelona. And we haven't seen much of Marc Casado under Xavi. I think it was a couple games, but it wasn't enough to see, okay, this guy has potential. He could probably start in for Barcelona one day. Who knows? It wasn't enough to see from him. I don't remember much from him under Xavi to be like, okay, he has potential, blah, blah, blah. And then preseason under Flick. We saw him play a couple games. We saw, okay, he has the aggressiveness. He gave me some little specks of Gavi in his game, the way how aggressive he was, how fast, how much of a dog he is to try and win the ball every time. He's very much like Gavi in that sense of being aggressive and wanting to dominate the ball, wanting his team to keep the ball, and always want to have the ball for his team. And his intelligence in terms of time tackles, his assurance on the ball was the main thing for me, how secure he was on the ball. And we saw all these things during preseason. I'm like, okay, this guy has potential. He has even more potential to be a squad player for us, to be a player that can do something for us. First game of the season, if I remember, it was against Valencia away, if I'm not mistaken, and my memory holds right. I'm pretty sure it was. He started with a double pivot with Casado and Marc Bernal. And we all remember that first game. Shit. Let's be honest. That was not a great game from both of them. Yeah. But especially Casado. I don't think that was... if you were to watch that game, you're like, yeah, Casado, sorry, buddy. You better hit the road because you're not going to be starting then. When Dani Olmo gets registered and everything, it's going to be Bernal, Pedri, and Dani Olmo, because Casado in his first game against Valencia, he was not good at all. He was like surprising in terms of, this guy doesn't look like he's capable of playing in this high level for Barcelona. And then the tragic situation of Marc Bernal, where he gets injured, long season long injury, and we're just like, fuck, what do we do now? Frankie, come back. Gavi, come back. Please hurry up. We need you guys ASAP. No Rocky. We can't afford to we can't afford to have Eric Garcia play in the double pivot with Pedri. We can't afford that, bro. We need another player come back quickly. And but then Flick was like, guys, we're chilling. We have Marc Casado. Then from there on, Marc Casado started starting every single game with a double pivot with him and Pedri, and boom, 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 boom. He's been fucking amazing. Marc Casado has been an amazing revelation for Barcelona. Again, like I've said before, his aggressiveness, his assertiveness, his fucking passion for the badge. He is a true Barcelonista. He's a true Blaugrana. And he wants to a true cooler, I should say. And he definitely wants to fight for the badge. And he has shown so far this season that he is indispensable now. As much as I love Gavi, as much as I've liked Frankie in the past, Casado this season has shown that he has to be starting every single game. That game against Bayern Munich, the game against Real Madrid, so many games this season he has been a standout. Let's not ignore his numbers too. He's been getting a good amount of assists too. He's been doing amazingly this season, and it was 100% shocking to me because I didn't really expect this from him. I didn't expect it from even Marc Bernal. I didn't expect it from him, but I forgot that we have the best academy in the world. We have the best academy of all time. So we produce these players. These players are made for Barcelona, and boom, the moment they get their chance, they show it. They 100% show it, and Marc Casado has shown it this season. Because wow, what a player he's turned out to be. I've already said it in multiple Barca talks that he's indispensable. He cannot be dropped. Gavi, I'm sorry. It's going to have to be like, if Gavi wants to start, it's going to have to be Pedri playing the 10. Even though I've said in the past I don't want to see Pedri playing as a 10, which was kind of a mistake because Pedri has been great playing as a 10 for us so far also. But it's going to be very hard to drop the likes of Casado. It's going to be very hard. Again, he's still a young player. He can still improve in a lot of things. He's gotten some stupid reds this season. He's made some bad mistakes this season. I think against Atletico Madrid was a good example of that. But it wasn't enough to be like, you're shit. No. He has a lot of potential and he has a lot to improve for sure, like every other young player. But he will, once he improves those aspects that he needs to improve, wow, the player that he'll be will be extraordinary for us, and not only us, for the Spanish national team, because he got his first call up too. during the international breaks, and he's been killing it there for Spain too. So again, Marc Casado, beautiful player, beautiful player. And the other surprising what the F player has been Rafinha. Rafinha for sure, 100% has to be included in this because since Rafinha has joined Barcelona, it's been a matter of you're right. Okay. Oh, what a game. What the fuck was that? No, it's been a matter of highs and lows with Rafinha. Where one game he's amazing, one game he's like, what the fuck are you doing? The other game he's like, okay, pretty good game, and then the next game he's like, get out. It's just been a roller coaster with Rafinha since he's joined us, where he plays good, he plays bad, and then it's not consistent enough. And we're just like thinking, okay, the player that we saw at Leeds, aggressive, great 1v1, very confident. We saw that player, and then when he came to Barca, he played a little bit more reserved. He looked a lot more quieter at Barca. And it's probably because, he just joined a big club, a big major move to Barcelona. Maybe some pressure put onto him, and also maybe the system, because we all know with Xavi, he likes to play slow plays, slow pace. He wants to control the ball, tiki-taka, control the tempo as much of the game, play slow, build up slow and attack. So that 100% could affect his play too. But I think it had to do a lot more with his confidence, I think, because during that time it was because Rafinha and Dembele were both right wingers. So it was between who's going to start this, the 60 million one we just bought, Rafinha, or the 100 million one that we bought years ago, who was also the same, where he's shit one game and good the other game. And in terms of who can provide you more at that time, it was Dembele for sure. Like there was no question that Dembele had to start over Rafinha, because Dembele was amazing 1v1. He was better than Rafinha in 1v1. He created a lot more chances than Rafinha and was more dangerous than Rafinha. But it was a matter more of Rafinha just not showcasing his ability and Dembele getting that preference over him. Which I don't knock Xavi for making that decision, because at the time I was, again, like I think most Barca fans, frustrated with Rafinha, because he would put in, like, his good performances would come off him putting an amazing ball into the box, very intelligent with his crosses, gets into the right positions. I think the best thing that we've seen since Rafinha, what we know is Rafinha's main attribute is his IQ and making the runs, getting into the right positions, being where he needs to be. He's always there. His IQ in that sense is amazing. But then when it comes to finishing, when it comes to the final decision making, that's what he was struggling with since joining Barcelona, and that's why he's been in and out the team under Xavi. He wouldn't even play full 90 minutes. Like I remember he even came himself and saying in an interview that I knew I was going to get substituted at the 60th minute under Xavi, because it was just a matter of Xavi wanted to make subs, and again, you get substituted because you're not playing the best either. But I think Rafinha started popping off last season. I think last season was when we started seeing, in the second half of the season is when we started seeing Rafinha be more consistent, being given the I'm him moments, where he showed up in multiple games where he got last minute goals, where he was putting up numbers and was being that clutch player for us when we needed him to be. One of the games I can remember was for sure against PSG, the 2 goals that he got at PSG Stadium. Then the goal against, in the Madrid, the aggressiveness. Like, we just saw the last season was the main season that I think we all saw the passion in him and how much he loves Barcelona and how much he wants to improve for Barcelona, how much he wants to wear that armband, how much he wants to bring success to Barcelona. In this season, he's shown it even more. But last season, as we saw those specks of Rafinha showing how good he is. And obviously, like, again, last season also came the likes of Lamine, him starting over, Lamine starting over, what's his name, over Rafinha also. But then we started seeing Xavi implement him more as a central role, playing in between the striker or behind the striker. We saw Rafinha and changing up his game in that aspect, and that's thanks to Xavi, because Xavi was the one that introduced it to him. He introduced it to him starting on the right, a little bit more on the right, so he would stay closer to Lamine, and then he started playing to the left a little bit more. But we have to thank Xavi for introducing this to us, because that's when we started seeing Rafinha at his best, playing more centrally behind the striker. That's the position we saw him best, because every time he was on the right, again, like I've said multiple times, I don't like him on the right just because His one-on-one ability, he's good at it. Like he's not terrible at it, but it's not the likes of Lamine. He's not the likes of Vinny. He's not like the likes of these kind of wingers who can beat a player and boom, go be aggressive, be direct. He can beat a player, but then he hesitates a bit. But um, so the central role, the left winger role, behind the striker is the best position for him so far. And this season, he's 100% shown it because this season has been a complete and utter change. And the main game that, like, even though I've noticed it throughout the season long, I think the main game that really like just finalized for me that his mentality is in a different level where he's just like, I'm fucking him, that I'm the guy for Barcelona. I need to be the guy, especially since he's wearing the armband when Frankie's not playing, when Ter Stegen, the likes of Ter Stegen's out, Araujo's out, these players aren't there. The armband 100% gives him fucking superpower, and at the same time, his assertiveness and his confidence to want to score, to want to be the difference maker. And the game that really like showed it to me was against Borussia Dortmund when he got us the first goal, because he had a clear and open sweaty for Lamine, and he's like, nope, I'm scoring it, and boom, bottom right corner, finished it perfectly, perfect finish. Because a lot of players in that situation would be like, let me just take it easy and boom, get a nice easy goal, and then boom, we get the goal, easy, nice and done. But he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna take it. Even if I miss, like there's a chance that I can miss because it wasn't like a open angle. It was a little bit of tight angle, but he's like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna take it. And that's how, and that's what you need from these kind of players. That's what you need from one of your star players, one of your best players, one of your most impactful players, to know that in these given situations, they're so confident that they will score, that you're guaranteed a goal from them. And that's been Rafinha this season. Like every time he gets the ball, you just expect him to score goals. You just expect him to be that finishing demon for you this season. And that has been a complete change in the mindset of Barca fans, because I think we can all admit, I don't think anyone can bullshit and lie and be like, yo, Rafinha has been amazing for us all this time. Oh no, we loved him all this time. No, he's gotten a tremendous amount of criticism from us Barca fans, because that's just football nowadays. We're very reactionary. We want to see impact right away, and if we don't, then we just start talking shit. So Rafinha has been a victim of that, but since then he's improved, done better, and has been amazing so far this season. So yeah, Rafinha, wow, what a player, and a great revelation under Hansi Flick. Hopefully, we continue to see it for the rest of the season, because that's going to be the thing. It's not how about you, like my boy Andy V said, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So let's see how he does for the rest of the season, and in general, how Barcelona do it the rest of the season. So Rafinha, Casado, beautiful motherfucking players. All right, now moving on to our best game this season. What has been Barcelona's best game this season that made us be like, wow, they are them. They are them. They are back. They're going to do wonders this season. And I think we all know what I'm going to say. I think we all know what I'm going to say. Obviously, the 4-0 win against Real Madrid. Fuck out of here, bro. The fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not been our best game. Come on, bro. That's something. That's the usual. We saw 4-0 2 seasons ago under Xavi. I mean, this is the usual shit. This is no different shit. Like, what the fuck? We've seen 6-2. We've seen so many scorelines. We've seen 4-0 before, bro. This is nothing new. There's nothing surprising. Scoring 4 against Madrid. Come on, bro. This has not been our best game. It's not been our best game because, man, it's just an easy walk in the park. But yeah, our best game for sure had to be the 4-1 win against Bayern Munich. I also want to give a little special shout out to the one, I think it was 1-0 win against Athletic Club, because that was for sure our first test of the season. I'm saying quote unquote test just because I think when you think of what's going to be the first test is against Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the bigger teams, Bayern and all these things. But I said it was the first test just because Athletic Club are still a good team. They still have a great manager, and it was not going to be easy playing against them. and we played them. We played an amazing match against them, even though it was only a 1-0 win. I'm pretty sure it was a 1-0 win. Give me 1 second. Okay, no, I'm stupid. It was a 2-1 win. Still basically 1-0, basically. But I think that deserves a special shout out just because that game was again, our first real test in terms of how this team is going to do against a competent team with a competent manager. And we played an amazing game in that game. Even if they scored one goal against us, we still played an amazing game. We were the better team. We deserved to score a lot more in that game, which, again, that was just a matter of not taking our chances. But that was for sure one of the better games too. But the Bayern Munich 4-1 win was 100% the best game this season because of the expectations for the game, the expectations from the team. Obviously the whole history with Bayern and Barcelona in general in the Champions League, but mostly with the history of Bayern Munich, the rivalry between the both teams. Not really, it's been the last couple of seasons, it's been more of a one-sided kind of rivalry between us. But obviously we wanted to get our get back, and this was a perfect chance to finally get our get back, just because we have what's said to be a better manager compared to Xavi with Flick, who's won it all and obviously knows Bayern. So the expectation was for us to win. But I'm saying it was a best game just because, again, the expectations, we needed to win. It's a Champions League match, a new criteria, a new league stand kind of thing for the Champions League. So obviously the 3 points were necessary, but obviously the pressure in the past when we played Bayern Munich, last time we played them in the Champions League, they beat us both times under Xavi. So we needed to get our get back. We needed to. There's no excuse this time. We needed to get our back. We were playing at home, and so far before that game, so far during the season, we were doing very well. We were winning every game, scoring a bunch of goals. So this was also the best, another expectation for us to finally show. Okay, has Flick been fluking it so far this season, or has it not been a fluke and it's been wow, he's just completely changed his team? And Bayern was the first real test with that. And boom, 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 boom. 4-1. Scoring in literally the first minute, under a minute, we scored. Obviously, looking back at the game, first half we were struggling. And then a little bit, we were struggling a lot, actually. Even though we went up 3-1 in the first half, we were struggling a lot because Bayern were like catching us a lot in the offside trap. They were trying to. They were moving the ball very well. And there were a lot of scary moments because Harry Kane missed one, he scored one, but it was offside, and then he got the goal after Rafinha got his goal, and it was like I can admit, because I streamed that game, and I can admit I was like, fuck, we're fucked. This highline is not gonna work. We're fucked. But then second half, I mean, we finished first half 3-1 with amazing counterattacks and us doing very well and holding on and not letting Bayern score on us. But at the same time, that first half wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. Second half was a completely and utterly different match. We scored the fourth, and from there on, boom, just controlled the game. We're completely dominant, and they just did absolutely nothing. It's similar to Madrid. I would say that Madrid were definitely, in the first half, I wouldn't say it was Barca's first amazing first half, but it wasn't from Madrid either. Again, it was a 50-50 in the first half. I think Madrid were a little bit on top, but at the same time, it wasn't enough for them to score like Bayern did against us. And then second half, with both games, it was a complete and utter difference where we dominated both second halves. But I think it was more on, the domination was better against Bayern just because we completely took them out the game. Like against Madrid, they were still trying. They were still trying to do something. Nothing was working for them, but they were still trying a little bit. But Bayern were just completely out of it. Like we were just completely all over them. Lamine Yamal with a beautiful masterclass. Rafinha getting his hat trick. Pedri putting up a great performance. The whole team in general was amazing. Bondi was amazing. Lewo was pretty good that game too. Casado with a beautiful switch over to Rafinha gets, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking the right game. It was just a matter of Barcelona was just completely dominant and showed to the world, wow, this Barcelona team is not fluking in. Again, there's always going to be those people that say, oh, you're going against a Bayern who've not been great. Look, they just lost the league to Leverkusen. They have a new manager with company who's not the best manager. Yeah, but before that, Bayern were doing very well in the Champions League, in the season in general. They were scoring a lot of goals. They were getting a lot of wins. If I'm not mistaken, up to that point they were still undefeated in the league. I'm not 100% sure, but they were still. It's still Bayern Munich, right? It's still the aura of Bayern Munich. You know, the Bayern Munich who have been humiliating us for the last couple years. So that's still gonna live on. But the thing is that for us Barca fans, it meant a lot because we finally got over the hump of being Bayern, and we finally got over the hump of not showing that this is a fluke. Like this is Barcelona, and how the style of play is playing, and how the system Flick has brought is getting into the players, and they're confident with it. They love it, and we can see it on the pitch. So 100%, I'm saying that was our best game. Again, shout out to the other games too. We played multiple great games against Real Valladolid 7-0. You know, the was it 5-1 against Mallorca. We played a lot of great games this season, but I would give the Bayern one as the most meaningful and our best game so far this season. I'm trying to think of any ones. No, I'll give it to that one. So yeah. All right, now, so our worst game this season. There's been a lot of bad games this season. As much as there's been good games, there's been a lot of bad games as well when it comes to Barcelona. And some disappointing games for sure. And I would probably bring it down to La Real loss, the 1-0 loss against La Real. The Osasuna game obviously comes up too. I wouldn't give it much to the Monaco loss, just because the Monaco loss was, if we have a full team, we would have won. But I would say La Real was our worst game. Obviously against Osasuna we conceded a lot, but I blame that more on our fucking lineup, the defensive lineup, than more of us just playing bad. I think it was more of a defensive lineup with Dominguez and Martin. We all know we can't trust those guys, so I'll blame that more on them. But La Real was a different game. So yeah, against La Real was a different game because we were missing a whole lot of players. Lamine obviously was one of the players that was missing. I think Dani Olmo was also missing, but it wasn't like a game where it's a completely revamped Barcelona where we had to play Dominguez, we had to play Martin, we had to play Val Victor, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres. We still have most of our players who've been doing amazing this season, and especially our back line. We had Balde, Cobarci, Inigo, Kunde, and obviously Iñaki Peña in goal. So we still have a lot of expectations to do better and do something in that game. So again, from the match review that I did on that, the first 20 minutes of the game, we were doing good. It wasn't the best, but we were, showing sparks of trying to get the win, trying to do something. We were definitely aggressive. We were definitely giving problems to Real Sociedad. And then we get the robbed goal from us, from Lewandowski, where he was apparently offside with his toe, but he wasn't offside. We all know that. But after that, complete downhill, because from there on it was just complete domination from La Real, where we just had absolutely no chance. They were all over us from that. We were very lucky to get away with a 1-0 win. I mean 1-0 loss. We were very lucky because they could have scored multiple goals. So that's why I'm saying it was our worst game, just because it wasn't a game where we missed chances. Oh man, if we just scored that, we just scored that. Okay, maybe the excuse of if we got that goal from Lewa, it would have been a different game. Yeah, for sure, but it was still a matter of after that, we just went completely downhill. Real Sociedad changed up the match completely and were all over us. Kuba was cooking. They were just completely all over us, and we didn't manage at all. We didn't manage at all. Again, we got very lucky that it was a 1-0 loss. They missed sitters. I was very surprised. So that was just one of those games where you just were very defeated from very early on in the game. And as a fan too, you were just very defeated and very frustrated as to, yeah, we're not gonna get anything from this game. Obviously, there's been other losses against Las Palmas, again against Monaco, multiple ties where we should have done better. But I would give it to that game because in terms of the game in general, as how Barcelona were playing in general, it was a terrible match. So I'll give it to that one. Because against Las Palmas, again, it was just a matter of we missed so many chances and then we let them come back at us. I think Martin came on that game too. So it was a lot of stupid stuff, but they scored some good goals too. So, but at the same time, it was just us being stupid. But against the Real, it was just complete domination from them. Like they just completely dominated us. So that's why I'm saying that's our worst game. So, yeah. All right, now moving on to my expectations and Barcelona's current position in both the league, the Champions League, and in general how they're currently doing so far up to now. Obviously, Barcelona are in second place in La Champions with 15 points, 1 point under Liverpool, who are 6 out of 6. So, kudos to them. And currently third place in the league under Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, who are currently in first. Man, it's so hard to say that, but yeah. So yeah, currently my expectations for currently how we're doing is just very frustrating, just because we all thought that November was bad. December hasn't been the best either. Obviously, when it comes to the Champions League, it's different from the league. In the Champions League, we be getting our wins. Ever since the Monaco loss, we've won every single game, which is good, which is great. Against Borussia Dortmund was one of those games where I really saw the mentality of the players and how much they want it, how much they want to win, and how much effort they're willing to put even in these difficult matches, because that was for sure one of the games where we saw in the past that Barcelona probably wouldn't gotten out of, and probably would have lost by probably would have lost in general, because Borussia Dortmund were great that day. But it was a matter of also us being on it and being on the counter, playing great on the counter attacks and taking our chances too. Shout out to Ferran Torres for getting the 2 goals, but at the same time, it was a matter of us being compact as a team and not letting our head down when we in these difficult situations where we're up and then we're down, where they tied up. Oh, we're up again. Oh, they tied up, and it looked in many situations in that game. It looked like Borussia Dortmund were going to score on us and beat us, but I'm glad that the team stood mentally strong and got the win. That was for sure a massive revelation of how the team has been doing mentally. But at the same time, when we go into the league, we're just like, what the hell is happening? Like, constantly tying games. We see with Lamine, we're not the same. We lose games where we shouldn't have lost. I think the latest loss against Atletico Madrid was one of the most frustrating losses for me as a Barca fan, just because it was a game where we had it in our hands to do what we just needed to fucking score. We just needed to take our chances, and boom, we just scored 4 or 5. We could have scored so many goals in that game, but it was a matter of we didn't take our chances. They took their chances, and then stupid mistakes in the end led us to take the loss, which was a very disappointing loss because it puts us in the position that we're currently in right now. But even after that loss, I'm still confident that we can definitely do something in the league. I'm not going to say 100% we'll win it, even though, again, you guys can make fun of me, whatever I've said in the past. We're going to win it. We're going to win it. We're going to. But that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of football, that anything can happen in any given moment. If you don't take your chances, if you don't take the wins that you need to with the win, then you're fucked. Because we were at 1.6 points ahead of Madrid. We weren't even worried about Atletico Madrid because at that moment, the beginning of the season, they were struggling too, tying a bunch of games, not being clinical enough. And now we're in a completely different situation where we're currently 3 points or 4 points behind Atletico. I think Madrid, I think we're also like 5 points behind them if we don't win our next game. But man, it's a difficult situation in terms of the league. We need to be more assertive. We need to be way more clinical, and our players have to be stepping up, because the likes of Dani Olmo I could have added into disappointing and stuff, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because it's his first season. But the likes of Dani Olmo, Lewa, they need to improve. They need to improve. Rafinha, the last game against Atletico was just the one game. I'm just like, wow, why? What happened to you? But at the same time, it was just one game. I think Rafinha will be back and better for this next couple of games in the season. Lamine again is back, so hopefully he steps up. Pedri and Casado have been amazing so far this season. Gavi and against Atletico Madrid was very good too. I think he was very sharp in that game, and hopefully we see that continue and improving throughout the season as well. Frankie needs to improve massively, so hopefully Flick gets something out of him, or we'll see what happens at the end of the season. Obviously, the likes of Araujo are back. Is back. Eric Garcia, I don't know what the situation with him, because apparently Girona want to buy him in this January transfer window for 10 million. Who knows if we'll get rid of him? Honestly, I don't think we should, but we might have to. Again, Inigo, Kobarsi, these players are always stepping up. Balde, I think another player who should improve. has to improve a little bit more in his decisiveness, in his final third options. He needs to improve in that a lot. In his confidence, I think that's the main thing, confidence, because we all know the capabilities that he has. He just needs to exert it a little bit more. He's sometimes hesitant, and he just needs to be confident enough to be like, yo, I'm him, and I'm gonna do it. I'm doing what I want. So Kunde again been very well, very good too. He's been amazing. So the team in general, as a team, they've all individually improved massively, and collectively have been very good. The high line, the way we were playing the system, it's just been amazing. I'm just gonna combine this with my thoughts on Flick too. My thoughts on Flick so far this season is he's been very, very good for us. Obviously, a lot of things have been coming out in terms of the league standings of where we were with Xavi during this time, where we were with Flick now. Like with Xavi, apparently we were like 41 points at this point. On the Flick, we're 38. Wow, 30 points. Again, I'm not looking in too deep into that. I'm looking of how we play and how confident we are, and if there's like something that's evident from this Barca team to be like, okay, I have confidence that we can do something. And as much as we've been struggling in the league, I'm still seeing those sparks of we're playing good football, we're playing very aggressive, we're winning duels, we're winning loose balls. It's a completely different side of in terms of how they play as a collective compared to how it was under Xavi. Like under Xavi, again, it was just it was a completely different system. Like Xavi likes to play slow, while Flick wants to play direct and go. So when it comes to those style of plays, you benefit more from Flicks just because the team is way more aggressive with the high line, especially you collect the ball more. You try not to let the opponents get through you a lot. You try to stop their plays immediately compared to Xavi, who played a little bit deeper. So we weren't as aggressive as we are on the Flick. So I think Flick, what matters to me more is the style of play, and the style of play has been working. It's been working as much as there's always going to be those one-off games where we're not playing well, we're not doing enough. But so far on their Flick, it's been very good. The high line has been very good. The players like that immediately just got it, and like, okay, this is what we have to do. Immediately got it, because the one thing that a manager needs to always transmit is the confidence in the idea. Like once he gets that through his players and they feel the confidence from the manager, boom, they're going to get it, and they're going to enjoy it, and it's going to help the whole team. That's the main job of the manager, to convince the player to be like, okay, this is the style of play, and I promise you it's going to work if you guys do it like this. That's how every manager should be, and that's how Flick has been with this team. With the defensive line is the main thing we've seen with that, how much he's convinced these players to be aggressive, be confident, understand each other, play as a team, play compact, play as a unit. And that defensive line has been a unit, and with same with the likes of the whole team going up and forward, giving the confidence to Lamine to be like, play here, play there, play through the middle, play where you want. You are the difference maker. Go and do it. Giving the confidence to Rafinha, we're giving him the armband and being, you are going to be the goal scorer for this. We don't need another player. You're going to be the main guy. I love you. Like he's already expressed multiple times that Rafinha is the most exemplary player that you would want as a manager, because of how dedicated and passionate he is. Because those things matter a lot. You need these kind of players, the players that will lift the team up when they need to, be aggressive, and criticize when when things need to be criticized. Like the amount of times, like against Atletico Madrid, he took blame for losing that ball, and then they got the counter and got the win. That's what you want. Player to take responsibility when they need to, and to transmit confidence to the rest of the players, especially if you're going to win the armband. But the assertiveness and the aggressiveness and the confidence that he's given Rafinha has changed him completely as a player. The likes of Lewa, again, we know that Lewa's best season ever as a player has come under Flick, but at the same time, it's age. Age is probably catching up to him. He's not gonna play perfectly every game, but as long as he tries to do the job he needs to do, which is score goals, try to be as involved as much as possible, but at the same time be where it needs to be. That's what matters most. But Flick has completely changed his team, has given the confidence to a lot of players like the likes of Bernal, Casado. He's giving the confidence to these kind of players to improve, to do better. He's trying to give the confidence to other players like Ferran Torres, to Martin for some reason. He wants to, like, us Barca players, fans, we were complaining a lot that we didn't make enough signings, we didn't do enough in the transfer window. We only made one signing with Dani Olmo, but Flick was like, "No, I'm good. This team is good. This team is good. I like my players. I like what we have." It could be probably because the board told him, "Okay, we can't make any more signings for you," or because he genuinely thinks that he has a very good set of players, a group of players who are going to play his system correctly and do what he needs to do. But I think, again, the likes of Casado and Bernal have been a revelation to us of how much confidence he has in this team and the players, and La Masia players, whoever he decides to bring up later on in the season or whatever. But Flick has been a very massive change, a massive positive change for Barcelona. To get to the point where he's giving us the confidence to be like, we're going to win it all, right? We're going to win the treble, we're going to win the league, we're going to win it all. But again, there's always going to be ups and downs, especially in a new season and a new manager. But the confidence and the things that he's done so far this season has been amazing for us. So kudos to him, kudos to the team in general. My final expectations for what we'll do for the rest of the season. Man, it's difficult to say because there's just so many games left. There's so many things can happen. In terms of the league, I'm confident that we can still win the league. I've said in the past, as much as Atletico are doing pretty good, I don't think they're going to be in a two-horse race towards the end of the season. I think it's just still going to be between us and Madrid. But Madrid are going to be very difficult to beat. They're going to be very difficult just because as much as Madrid haven't been playing the best football, I've said it, like, that's the difference between us and Madrid. They can play good. I mean, they can play bad, but still win games because they have clinical players. We can play very good and still lose because we don't have as much clinical players as they do. So Madrid are 100% going to be massive, our massive challenge this season trying to beat. But I'm confident that we can beat. So I'm confident that we'll win the league. I still think we could win the league. I think we will win the league. So do what you want there. In terms of the smaller trophies like Copa del Rey, Supercopa, again, the Supercopa, we have to play Athletic Club first. If we beat them, then we'll most likely, be a hypothetical final against Real Madrid because they play against Mallorca, so they should beat them. So I think it'll be another classical final for the Supercopa. And when it comes to that, I think the second time will definitely be more difficult because Madrid are gonna learn from their mistakes, and we're gonna have to learn from our mistakes too when we played them in the first time. So I think it will be more of a 50-50 match, but I think we'll still beat them. So I think Supercopa, we should put it in the bag. Copa del Rey, still early. We're playing our first game on Saturday against Barbosa. So still long for that. But if we win that, cool. If we don't, don't really care. But the main thing I do want, the main one, we all want the 6. We all want the 6. We want the fucking 6th, Barca. The Champions is the main one that I want. What my heart desires. If we win that, I'm going to fucking cry. I'm going to cry. That's the main one, bro. That's the main one. If we were to drop everything just to win the Champions League, I guess I'll take it. I'll take it every fucking day. Every fucking day. But yeah, the Champions has to be a priority for sure. If it comes down, obviously, like Rafinha said, you're Barcelona, you have to go for it all. But if we were to, slow down a little bit in the league just to give more, a little bit more to the Champions League, I wouldn't mind that in the slightest because the Champions is something we've been struggling for. It's been now 10 fucking years. This new year has come up 2025. It's been 10 years, bro. 10 fucking years since we won the Champions League last. 10 years, a decade. What the fuck? We need to win it. We need to win it. And obviously, there's so many games. There's still a lot of games left. We don't know how the knockouts are going to be. How the rest of the teams are going to be like. What the playoffs are going to be and everything, but there's still a lot of games to we're not even fully through yet. We still have to play Atalanta and Benfica. If we win those 2 games, then we're through. But we still need to win. So I'm confident we'll still get top 8. Like I think at this point we beat Atalanta, we'll be good. But I don't know. The system, the whole league thing is still kind of weird to me. But I think again we'll still get through. But after that, it's just like it's just a mental thing with Barcelona. It's always been a mental thing with these guys. Like. They play good, and then they fall off mentally when they go down or when they start losing. Against PSG last season in the first leg, that was a good for me to see like the mentality is changing with these players because we went down and then we made the comeback. Again, against Borussia Dortmund was another one of those where we were struggling massively. We went up and they tied immediately. We went up and then they tied immediately, but we still stayed on it. So the mentality is changing. The assertiveness of the players is changing, but there's still a lot more games to see if it has fully changed, because the difficult matches are yet to come. Who knows if we'll end up playing the likes of Liverpool, who have been tremendous this season, against Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid, we already beat them in the Champions League last time we played in the Champions League, so I'm not worried about them. So if we get Champions League Real Madrid, I'm down. Obviously, anything can happen in the Champions. It's a knockout. It's a knockout competition. So, but will I be confident saying we will fucking win the Champions League this season? You fucking heard me. We will win the Champions League this season. We are going to win the Champions League this season. We're going to play Real Madrid. We're going to play Atletico Madrid. We're going to play Liverpool and PSG. Those are going to be the 4 knockouts. Knocked all of them out. And then, boom, we win the final. The final will be against Liverpool. So, keep that noted. Keep that noted. That's what's going to happen. That's the run. We're going to beat all of them. And boom. The champions. Winners. The 6. We'll come back, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully, the Champions is the main one for me. So, yeah. All right, guys. So yes, that has been my recap, my thoughts so far of how the season has been going for Barcelona. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with anything? What do you guys think was the best game? What was the worst game? What do you guys think? Who's been our disappointing player? The most what the F player? Our best player? If you disagree or agree with anything I've said, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about everything I've just said this season so far for us. Let me know what you think about Hansi Flick. Let me know what you think about, are we going to win any trophies this season? Are we going to win trophies? Are we going to go trophies? Are we going to win the trophy? Who knows? Anything can happen. But yeah, let me know everything in the comments of what you guys think. Club football is finally back. Barcelona are going to play this Saturday against Barbosa. So I'm going to give my match review for that. I won't be able to stream the game because I'll be at work, but I will give my match review for that. And then this next week we have Athletic Club and Barcelona. I'm going to be streaming that match. Hopefully we win that. So then on Sunday we play El Clásico against Real Madrid. That will be spectacular to see. So we'll see what happens in these next couple fixtures for Barcelona. Obviously, there's a lot of news again over Dani Olmo. Hopefully, we'll get some good news of that shit later on this week. I think today's the last day, actually. Today's Friday. Hopefully. I don't really want to talk about that shit. Like, that shit's just annoying to me right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Much love to all you guys. Let's welcome in the new year with a lot of blessings, a lot of love, a lot of respect. Learn from your past errors. Learn from anything that you've, thought you haven't done well in and wanted to improve for the next year. I have a lot of goals for this year. I want to give myself a little challenge, and I might make a video about it. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys like to see like a little bit of my life in these kind of YouTube videos? I was thinking about doing something, a little challenge, a physical challenge for myself in this YouTube channel to document it throughout. Make it like a little documentary kind of thing. Not really, but just record it and give my thoughts on what my this challenge I want to do. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys be interested in that, if not, then yeah, I guess not. But I probably will do it anyways, even if you don't say it. But that will probably just come in later on in the year. But yeah. So again, thank you guys for watching. Much love. Happy New Year to all you motherfucking beauties out there. And make sure to like, share, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for every time we upload, and share to your Barcelona fans, to your people that love football and hate Barcelona, so they can talk shit to me. Be like, come on, come at me, motherfuckers. But yeah, much love to all you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. How was it?